And to you, this where it's not mine. We love you, Bill. Awesome, and we have past President Rick Lindsay, who is also our flag boss, who will be introducing our guests today, starting with some special ones.
Thank you, thank you. It is a pleasure to be here today. It is a pleasure for me to ask Lieutenant Colonel Jim Klein to come forward and introduce our visiting junior ROTC guest.
You all very much. An actual rank right now is retiree. That's about it. That's all I do. Cash the check every month. So I'd like to introduce Mike Curtin, Lieutenant Colonel Mike Curtin, and his cadets in the month. So if you can come forward, please. Right here for them.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Mike Curtin. I'm also retired, but I'm in costume today. So, but I have two. I don't know how to describe. They're awesome cadets. They're both seniors. McAdory here, Cadet McAdory. I joke with her a lot. We were actually neighbors back in Okinawa in 2008. She doesn't remember it, but I give her a hard time. She's only like 2 or something. Her mom served in the Navy. And Castro, she got here a couple of years ago, barely spoke a word of English, and now she's pretty much fluent and has aspirations to go in the room. They won't brag about themselves. They're really great young ladies. She made me cry. I'll have to admit, Marines don't cry. She can say she came in second in. First. I'm sorry. Anyway, don't brag. Don't.
No, go ahead. Please.
Good afternoon. I'm Cadet McAdory. I've been in the program this is my 4th year, and I'm a senior at Irving High School. I'm pretty involved in the program. I'm pretty much like, I've dipped my toe in every team, basically. I love marksmanship with Lieutenant Colonel, and I love drill and all that in general. I've made a family in this program for sure, but I'm going to be sad to leave, but I'm very blessed to have gotten this opportunity, honestly, and every day in the program is a blessing for me. And when I leave high school, I hope to pursue a future as a choir director, anything involved with choral literature. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Karen Castro. I have like 2 years here in the United States, and JROTC helped me with my language and with my confidence. So thank you for that. I'm here, and now I can say that I'm a third-year cadet in the program, and I want to be a Marine in the future. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Klein. Thank you for bringing this program back to life. Yes. Well, I am going to introduce a full house today. It's a pleasure to see all of you here joining us at the Irving Las Colinas Rotary Club. Harry, I'm going to start with you and ask you to introduce your guest.
My guest, many years, my wife, Jimmy Chris.
Kathy Howard, would you like to come up here and introduce your guest? You want to borrow them?
I am so lucky to have some of my former neighbors with me, and I'd like to introduce them. This is Nadine, this is Elaine Niemeyer, and Nadine Tishy, and Terry Brawlin, and we know Sandra, and Marguerite Korkmas, and Charlie Neff, and Faye Graff. Faye actually sometimes it notarizes for us. We really appreciate it very much. And then I have Britton Tucker. Britton is the marketing director of the Remington and takes very good care of making sure that all the apartments are filled. And we get to know the people, and that's great. And thank you all very much for coming. Makes our day.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna go back here. Terry Oliver, don't you have a guest today? All right, what's your guest's name?
Good afternoon, please welcome my guest, Janet Para. Now, Janet's maiden name is Janet Oliver, so you may get a little bit of connection there. She is, I still say she's my sister-in-law, but she's my sister-in-law, so welcome, Janet.
All right, thank you very much. Eddie, introduce your guest, please.
I have two guests today. First of all, my friend Deborah Sars. I think many of you know Deb. And then Kevin Kindrow over at the other table. Kevin is the City of Irving archivist. So wanted him to come today to enjoy the program. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Well, it's my pleasure at this time to introduce our program and introduce some good friends of mine from the Las Colinas Association. They've done a great job over the last 3, 4, 5 years developing different get-togethers for Christmas. Let's see, we had snow slide, we had ice skating, we've had snow cones, we've had open house. This team of people have been extremely busy introducing the Las Colinas Association and the group to all of the folks in North Texas and in the city of Irving. So it is my pleasure to introduce, in no particular order unless y'all tell me, Ms. Julia Kahn. Julia is a great friend of Irving. She's been here for a long time. Julia, thank you for being here. Candace Emerson, thank you for being here today. Jessica Hubble Luther. Jessica, thank you for being here. And then Kim Glass. So I think they have an exciting program to introduce the 50th anniversary celebration mobile museum. If you have not had an opportunity to see that, you've got a couple more months. So Tim, who's going to go first? Tim's up. All right. Y'all give a big hand to our Las Colinas team. Thank you.
All right. With apologies to a few of you, you've probably heard this about 6 times now. Deb and Kevin and some others. Very excited to share what we're doing for the 50th anniversary in Las Colinas, a little celebration of our community, a major milestone, certainly the broader Irving community as well. The success are tied together for everything we do, and want to make sure that we're getting the word out and have a chance to participate as much as you can and join us for our big celebration coming up at the end. So. Got it. All right. And I'll move quickly through. It's a lot. I'll move quickly, but we'll definitely take questions. So.
Is this online?
The presentation's not, but our website, anniversary.lascolinas.org, has all of this in a much more digestible format. So as I'm sure most of you in this room know, Mr. Ben Carpenter, founder of Las Colinas, owner of a lot of the original property that created Las Colinas, had a very strong philosophy about how development should be approached and what he wanted to see in his land. He cared deeply about the property here at Hackberry Creek Ranch. He didn't want to just sell it off to people who would develop it however they felt was the best for them. He wanted to have control, wanted to be able to provide for something that lasted beyond his generation. And this quote is one of many from Mr. Carpenter, but what the really message is of all of it is that we're focused on long-term value, long-term quality, not the short-term dollar that a lot of real estate development ends up pursuing. Within that, the dream of Las Colinas, I think this is a fun slide, especially if you've been around urban community for a really long time. So it has kind of that nice smooth upward trajectory there on the slide, as if the growth was just slow and steady. But as a lot of you know, there were a lot of cycles within that growth. But starting in the late 20s, when Mr. Carpenter's family purchased the land, that is now where Pioneer stands at the Hackberry Creek Ranch, all the way through to modern day. It's been a lot of great advancements throughout the history of Las Colinas. I think the key events, of course, are the early 70s with both the creation of DFW Airport, which really provided the location qualities that have made Las Colinas so successful and have really turned Irving into a boomtown, along with the vision Mr. Carpenter laid out at that time, his master plan that was unveiled in 1973 that really laid out the groundwork for what Las Colinas has become. So today, I think, one of the things that we should be most proud of is the diversity and growth of Las Colinas' residential base. 55,000 people live in Las Colinas today. It's one of the most diverse places in the country. Over half of our adults speak multiple languages. There's tons of people coming from all over the world joining Las Colinas in the entrepreneurial spirit and the great community that we have here. In addition to that, and pre-COVID, but we're still figuring out the real numbers now, but on a regular basis, it would be about 160,000 people that worked in Las Colinas every day. So there's a huge number of people coming into the area on a daily basis. We hope to get back to that number very soon. It continues to fluctuate, but I'm hearing good things about more and more people coming back to the office and therefore spending at our restaurants, at our shops, keeping the community going, generating tax revenue for the city of Irving. I think the other big thing we'd like to talk about is that we are the geographic center of the college-educated workforce in North Texas. It's literally about 200 feet north of the Irving Convention Center. So if you have a college degree and you live in Dallas-Fort Worth, this is the shortest place for you to get on average from anywhere. And that's very important and why we're so successful. I think it's a headquarters of headquarters, it's a commercial base, it's an entrepreneurial place for people to locate. So when we sat down and kind of almost 5 years ago, really started tackling the idea of how do we celebrate our 50th anniversary, we had a lot of tasks that we wanted to accomplish and lay out in front of us. And the first is, of course, a great place to start. So that's the landing page for our 50th anniversary. It's got a lot of great content. We have photo sliders and timelines and lots of interactive pieces showing the history of Las Colinas, telling different perspectives, stories. We've done a ton of interviews and there's a lot of great kind of firsthand information on there as well. I want you to check that out. We also have an online archive, which we're very proud of. We've put almost 1,000 documents now, and we've got about 4,000 photos that we're in the process of putting together and uploading starting from the 70s all the way through to today, showing the evolution of all the buildings in Las Colinas and all the different businesses that have called this home, as well as the neighborhoods under development. If you go there, especially in the older neighborhoods, we have collections. So if you live in Fox Glen or University Hills or in Cottonwood Valley or places like that, you can go through and see all the different elements of your own community's history that we have as well. We had basically a 6-month program we put together to kind of really activate in the community for our 50th anniversary. So that started in late March and has continued through, and we'll kind of conclude at the end of October. There'll be a few things that go on beyond that, but we wanted to kind of touch a lot of different elements of our community as well. So we wanted to get out and kind of celebrate in the community with what we call the Las Colinas Experience, which is a mobile museum that people can interact with, whether they live here, work here, or visiting, going to TMF for a concert, or coming here for dinner, or whatever it might be, coming to golf, whatever the different circumstances that bring people in, they get a chance to see that information. We had a great kickoff event that really kind of launched everything and had a great celebration of kind of the Las Colinas alumni, some people who worked for Mr. Carpenter, or worked with Mr. Carpenter at other companies, that kind of set the base for Las Colinas and really created the foundation of what we see today. We're all celebrated at that event and very generously hosted at the resort. This is the Las Colinas Experience, and I want to talk about this a little bit because it's a great opportunity for people to learn the history of Las Colinas. I think it's a really cool experience, and it's something we can take around to your community. So we've been to a lot of our villages in Las Colinas. We haven't hit all of them yet. So if you have a community or if you have another big gathering of people that you think that would be well received for this type of an activation, please let us know. We have a calendar where it's going to be on our website, so you can see if you haven't had a chance to come out to meet it in person. We did a home tour, and this was something that we really wanted to emphasize. I think a lot of people perceive Las Colinas as a commercial community and not necessarily a residential one. So we wanted to have a chance to highlight some of the amazing homes in Las Colinas and frankly open the gates to some of our gated communities. People don't get a chance to go and see behind the scenes of some of these great places, and some of the people in this room are a huge part of making that happen. But we had a really successful event with AIA Dallas. We had great sponsorship and great turnout. And I think that's something that could be repeated in the future. Probably not next year, but we're looking maybe to 2025 and doing it again. The best part of it was we raised money for great local charities, the Irving Schools Foundation, Irving Cares, and Irving Symphony Orchestra, among others. So that was a great charitable aspect as well. So we got a lot of different benefits out of that, but I think it's really great. Coming up next on the schedule is our architecture tour. So we did the residential side, now we're gonna do the commercial side. So tickets are on sale now. We're gonna have a great opportunity to see some of the classic buildings in Las Colinas, but honestly, we're not gonna even, scratch the surface. We're not coming here, for example, which, I mean, come on, this is, one of the first buildings ever built in Las Colinas, and it's an amazing piece of architecture in and of itself. So again, who knows, maybe this is something that we do again in the future, but we've got a lot of great stops along the way, Pioneer, and one of the first ever tours of the ExxonMobil campus, which I think will be very special for people to have a chance to interact with, something that hasn't been open to the public basically ever, as well as, of course, going to the Constellation Club and getting that high up view of all of Las Colinas from above. It's very important. So tickets are on sale. We're getting great support from the community. We're working with the American Institute of Architects Dallas chapter on all that as well, and they're a great partner for bringing in kind of that business side, that architecture side into the equation. So we've got an amazing lineup of speakers as well, and it's a full day bus tour, so it's going to be pretty comprehensive. Mandalay Mile is the next thing coming up after that. It's about to be deployed. It's a walking tour, self-guided walking tour on the canal and the lakefront around the Omni and around the Mandalay Canal shops. There's 10 stations along there. You can walk along, take your phone, scan your QR codes on your phone. It pops up some interesting history, factoids about Las Colinas, maybe a video clip or some interesting photos. You can learn a little bit, and then there's also offers from tenants of Toyota Music Factory, who's our partner on this. So maybe they'll get a discounted appetizer or maybe some other unlocked reward if you kind of complete each station along the way. And if you complete all of them at the end, there's a sweepstakes for some tickets to a TMF event. So very exciting to have them on board, and that will be down on the canal here within the next couple of weeks. All that builds up to Glow, which is our big party. Everything that we've done up to this point is kind of looking back at the history of Las Colinas. This is our way to say, let's look at the next 50 years of what Las Colinas can be, what the urban community can be, how we can add to the overall aesthetic of what Las Colinas has become, add another attractions, the mix of great investments like Toyota Music Factory, like the Convention Center, like Eagles Water Street, the Green at Williams Square Plaza. How do we continue to add to the urban center? And really, the number one thing that I've been in Las Colinas now for 5 years working, the one thing that I always get asked is, what do you do with the canal? What's going on with the canal? How do we make the canal something special again? Those of you who have been here for a long time may remember the Mandalay Canal when it was full of shops and restaurants and it was really vibrant. It's still pretty vibrant. You can go down there and see tons of people walking by every day. But yes, the retail's not there, the shops aren't there, the activity's not there the way it used to be. So Glow is our way of rethinking that canal space and also having a great party for the 50th anniversary of Las Colinas. So over 2 nights in October, the 20th and 21st, Friday and Saturday evening, we're gonna have what I would almost call a completely unique, immersive experience down on the canal. So it's not a festival where you go stand, there's a stage and a couple of bands and you have some food and drink and just kind of have a chance to stand there in one place the whole night. What you want to do is walk. You're going to walk up and down the canal. You're going to walk to the Omni. You're going to walk to Water Street. And you're going to see performers popping up unexpected ways. You're going to find all kinds of interesting art pieces. You're going to find a lot of really unique, I think, water-based performances, lights, fireworks, fire spinners, all kinds of interesting things throughout the entire event. Think of like a carnival in a linear format, right? So you're not supposed to stand still. You're going to be moving around. You're going to be getting lots of interesting things happening, and everybody's going to get a different experience. If you're down there at 7:30, it's going to be different than if you're there at 8:30. Go ahead and just flip through some of these. So you'll see that we're thinking about how do you make this a fun and unique and exciting place that I think really continues to be a demonstration project that adds value for other groups to come in and do their events down on there. And hopefully that continues to bring attention to the canal and leads to some of that retail space being revitalized. Lots of interesting performers, lots of different areas where there's performances happening throughout the evening as well. Using the elements that make Las Colinas unique, and especially down in Mandalay Canal, the water. Not many places in DFW have that kind of an amenity. So how do we make maximum use of that? How do we make maximum use of the architecture that's there as well? So you've got, just a very interesting, unique place. There's nothing like it in DFW. Let's make sure that we emphasize and enhance that those textures, those angles, those you know, little nooks and crannies of that area that make it really special. And then you'll see throughout this, there's a lot of emphasis on light, because of course it's a nighttime event, it's called Glow. So one of the major investments that's happening right now, literally as we speak, they're down on the canal, they're installing a permanent light and sound system that's gonna be a real nice enhancement to that space going forward. So we can do things like the festival with Glow, where we can have synchronized lights and music and really create like almost a Vegas style show effect. But on a regular night, maybe during Valentine's, you know, week, there's red, white, and pink lights. During the 4th of July, it's red, white, and blue lights. And as you go through walking, running, in a gondola, whatever you may do to go down there, you'll get a very different experience as well. You can see some of those lighting effects here on some of these photos. So that's going to be something that we can then also offer to outside groups if they want to bring their own festival. So we already have, of course, Day of the Dead, which follows on not long after Glow. What other groups can bring in their own events? Cultural events, you know, different types of holiday activations, thematic things, farmers markets, whatever it might be, the space is going to be there. It's going to be set up in a way that makes it much easier for people to use going forward as well. And then, like I said, the Glow area is not just on the canal. We're expanded beyond the canal. We have a great partnership with the Omni. We're gonna have a lot of really cool VIP experiences there. So if you want something where I walk through that crazy carnival environment and get good set stuff, but then I want to sit down and have a beer and just enjoy, you know, a little higher end kind of sit down experience, you're gonna have that opportunity on me. Those bookings are gonna be opened up next week. You're gonna get a chance to kind of look through different menu options and price points and get a feeling for that. Gables Water Street, we're so excited about this. It's gonna be in our park, and we have some really cool installations that are coming in. They're interactive. I think that are, again, unlike anything that's done throughout the FW, using some of that water, using some of that space in unique new ways, and then all through the promenade as well. Get a chance to see the lake, get a chance to look at it from different angles, and get a different feeling for that. And then, of course, you can't have anything in Las Colinas without experiencing the Mustangs. And we're really not trying to do anything too crazy there, but really just have a chance to go there at night. How often do you go Williams Square Plaza at night and see the Mustangs lit up in their natural environment, and with the newly redone plaza and the softer touches and the new angles that you can view them from? Just really have a chance to go there and have maybe a little more Zen moment among the craziness as well. So we really look forward to seeing all of you out at Glow. There's no tickets, there's no admission, it's a free event. You can make some reservations ahead of time. There's going to be great seatings at Water Street for different restaurants. There's going to be special seatings at Venetian Terrace for a on-canal dining experience, and then of course all the experiences at the Omni as well. So you can kind of get a sense here of what all the different elements are, and then we'll have fireworks, of course, at the end of the night, because you can't have a party without fireworks, assuming it rains a little bit here in the next couple of months. We'll have some great fireworks shows to conclude both nights, and they'll be high launch fireworks, so they will be viewable from kind of all over the Urban Center as well as beyond the Urban Center as well. Lastly, we can't do this without great partners, and then I'll stop talking. Without great partners, Pioneer Natural Resources, thanks so much to them for coming on as our main partner for all the 50th anniversary. But you can see we have a lot of great community companies that really understand what the Las Colinas project are about, are really invested in the Irving community, have come on board and supported us throughout all of this. And that's great validation to LCA and to the Las Colinas community that we're doing things the right way, but also a sign that they're invested in the Irving community for the long term as well. So that's all of it. We hope to see you at Glow. Happy to take any questions. Candace, Jessica, Jules, and I are all here to answer anything that may be on your mind. You're gonna be shy. I can. We'll hang around. Yeah, go ahead.
Two things I'm surprised we didn't have it. But right in, I've lived in Las Colinas 50 years, so right in the beginning, property, they had a big mop of Las Colinas.
Oh, that's right.
I'm surprised we didn't have a picture. And the other thing, I said I've been here for 50 years, I think the canal's great, but nobody knows it's there, because you don't have any defined entrance at grade. You can drive around all day and not know what's down there. And you all need to create some main entrances, so when you drive around and say, oh, that's how you get down there. Right now, it's a big secret.
Yeah, those are both great points. The model is, what happened to that model is one of the great mysteries right now, I think. There's some rumors it's in some corner basement of Williams Square, I don't know. had a chance to really venture down there and explore, you get a different answer kind of depending on who you ask, so. But yeah, we do have a few pictures of that, actually, President Reagan visited Las Colinas. I don't think he came to actually to Las Colinas, he may have been at the UFW Airport, but they took the model out there to show him. We actually have a news clipping from his visit with Mr. Carpenter looking at the model in, I think, 1984, 1985, something like that. Yeah, as for the canal, so like I said, what we're doing for GLOW is really the first step in that process, and I think, you know, as Las Colinas Association, we're not owners of anything, certainly all the owners are our members, and we're gonna try to coordinate with them to do things like that. How do we make a cohesive program for the canal going forward? And the great thing is, several property owners in that area are invested in trying to make the right kind of improvements to revitalize that space, and have some very smart people that know how to do it. I think the tricky part with all of this is you can do it once, and if it doesn't work, then you're not gonna get another chance for 10 years. So you gotta do it in a very smart, deliberate manner, a very market responsive manner, right? So how do we approach the right mix of tenants for that space? How do we have the right signage, the right parking, the right marketing program around all of that? So October 22nd, or maybe after I get a little sleep, October 25th, we'll start having those conversations in the 2024 about what that next phase of the Mandalay Canal area looks like and how we continue to make those improvements.
And the parking for this event?
Yeah, so there'll be, the main parking will be at the Mandalay Tower Garage, which is off Las Colinas Boulevard. There'll be, we'll have it open for parking. We're looking at some other parking options too. It's gonna be a very busy weekend in the Irving Center, which is fantastic. But there'll be a lot going on, concerts at the Music Factory, a big convention at the Convention Center, and then GLOW, so. We'll have all that information on our website. So for now, for sure, that one Mandalay Tower Garage, if we have the opportunity to open up a couple more, we will, and we'll let everybody know. Excuse me.
You want to make it like the San Antonio River Walk, eventually, only be a smaller scale.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to pull from the Riverwalk and its success. You know, I think you know, we have to look at a lot of different elements of what makes that work. You know, we're not going to get the percentage of tourists ever probably that somewhere like San Antonio does. So how do you make it work for locals first and foremost? Something that you all want to come back to on a regular basis, because that's really the main customer base. You know, so we'll be working certainly with Mora and the CBB and other groups like that to make sure that visitors are fully aware of what's offered down there. But you know, can you do 10 restaurants down there? Probably not, right? It's just, that's too many restaurants in a relatively small space that kind of compete for business and kind of kill each other off, right? So how do you have a mix of tenants that works, that's balanced, that's fair going forward? That's a real challenge, and I think that's what we're cautiously optimistic that there's a pathway to get to that point. It's just tricky to know exactly what it is.
Fantastic.
All right, well, thank you all for the invite. Appreciate y'all. We'll be around if you have any questions.
Thank you. Good question. So what do you have in store for the clock tower, the flowers?
Oh, for the flower clock?
Yeah.
We have another rotation planned for that. We'll keep it at that for now. There's gonna be you know, we're kind of purposely wanting to keep a lot of this a surprise because it's an experience. We want people to kind of know about it. We also wanted to make this about the community, right? So this is a party primarily for the Irving Las Colinas community to partake in, right? We're not advertising this on KRLD or on Channel 5 to the entire Metroplex, right? First and foremost, it's this. We expect you all to take out your phones and do some amazing Instagram reels and tell everybody about how, you should have come to this. You know, like that's the kind of buzz we want to create after the event, but we don't want to overwhelm the space because it's a tight space with, you know, people that are coming in from, you know, awful places like Garland or Addison or you know, Southlake or whatever, right? This is for Dallas, for Irving and for Las Colinas first and foremost. So, you know, we're trying to be very deliberate about what we share and what we don't share in advance for that reason. So we don't want, you know, like us, you know, some of the folks we have may have 50,000 followers on social media. We don't want them all showing up, right?
Right.
So we're being vague about that. But yes, we'll have landscape program around GLOW that'll continue to celebrate the 50th anniversary and some other elements of the community beyond that.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for St. Patty's Day flowers, July 4th flowers, beautiful. And I saw somebody putting lights up. So I know you always do a great job decorating the whole 7,000 acres. So we're up to 98 deer, reindeer.
Oh, I don't know, they've added some more.
Yeah, they added them. Okay, good. Well, everybody knows. The trick is find the one with the red nose. But the bottom line, thank you, Tim, Candice, Jennifer, Jessica, Hubble, Luther, Jules, thank y'all. Thank y'all, Steve, for a great job that y'all do for Las Colinas City. Everybody's still on the book.
Thank you. That was a great program, and we have just a little bit of time left for announcements that are for the good of the club. Before we get to those, I neglected to introduce myself, and we have a number of guests. I'm Shane Webb, pastor of Woodhaven Presbyterian Church and the most current past president. And that's a good role to have. As a point of privilege, I do want to let you guys know if I seem a little brain dead, that's because I started my doctoral studies. I started my doctorate of ministry at the Evangelical Seminary of Puerto Rico, and my classes are in Spanish, so my brain hurts. So, thanks, all. This is your opportunity to get me quiet. Yes.
I can't be quiet. It's a great topic. Anybody that wants to learn about the flags at Millennium Fountain and over at Deborah's house at the Grand Treviso. So, thank you. Richard Raymond's team will be at the barn tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. We're gonna load up 100. Richard Raymond's team is gonna be there at 8 o'clock. We're gonna load 100 flags. We're gonna put 28 at Deborah's house. We're gonna put 72 at Millennium Fountain. If you want an experience, you need to go help us at Millennium Fountain. We will, we'll have Dr. Parra, who does a great job on quality. They will all be standing tall back there. You, Lieutenant Colonels, they'll be looking real good. The fountain with the American flags is beautiful. You owe it to yourself. Get in the car and drive down and take a look. It's as beautiful as anything that they do in Washington, D.C., and it's all the result of you at this club. Currently, we got 72, we've sold 52. Kathy's still entering orders, so we sold a flag the other day. Anyway, come join us if you want to learn how to put out flags. Bob's going to be there. Mara will be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. That was actually quite brief. I'm impressed. Lieutenant Cody Johns, did you have an announcement, and will you come make it? Are there anyone else have an announcement for the good of the club? All right, this will work, because then when you're done, you can lead us in the 4-way test. So this is Lieutenant Cody Johns of the Salvation Army, and he is also our Sergeant at Arms here at this Rotary Club. Also, membership pitch, if you are interested in joining the Rotary Irving Las Colinas Club, this is a fine group of people dedicated to service above self. So see myself or one of the other members before you leave today, and we can tell you, you too can be part of the greatest club here in Irving. All right, now you can take it away. That was because Ryan, our membership chair, was not here.
All right, good afternoon. I'll keep this short and brief. I know a couple of y'all went to our Irving luncheon that was went on. So if you did go to that, thank you. We finally got everything in and calculated, and I know some of y'all wanted to know. We actually, if you did hit our goal here in Irving, we grossed at $80,000 for our luncheon. And that can be done back on. And a lot of you say, is where does that go? And I'm glad a lot of you asked that. That actually stays here at the Irving Community Center on 250 East Wallweiler, which helps us with supplies for our Boys and Girls Club, helps with our food pantry, helps with different rental assistance that keeps us going through the summertime. Which leads me into my next one is, most of y'all know it's getting to the best time of the year, right? Yes. Right? Hearing those little red bells that we always love to hear. Yes, so I've actually just worked on getting a sheet ready. I'll be having that next week here. So, if you want to, be in it, already has the times, that's all I need you to do is to sign your name on there with your email, just so I can make sure to have your information, so we can get that started, here up in November, because we're gonna blink and then it'll be November. All right, but thank you again all for y'all's support, with the Salvation Army here in Irving, and we can do what we do here without y'all's, support and help, so thank you for that. So after that, if you could please stand and join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, everybody. May the Lord bless you and keep you.